Hello and welcome to this edition of Community Voices Uganda on Civic Space TV. I am Phillip Muliisa. I welcome you all to this edition, and today we have a very important topic to talk about that is related to the voter registration exercise, something that should lead us into a free, fair, credible election come 2026. We want to discuss that and look at, first of all, what it means for the country, what is intended to be achieved, but also the participation and how it's moving. As we know, we are coming to the end of the first week of the activity, and indeed we want to make an assessment of whether it is moving well, where it can be changed, and indeed how we can inspire people to come in and be active in this particular process. But before we get into that conversation, I want to briefly mention a few events that are shaping the world right now. We know just a few days ago we had the inauguration of a new president in the United States of America, that is His Excellency Donald Trump, now 47th president of that nation. We also know that we have a ceasefire underway right now in the Gaza Strip. We know there is exchange of prisoners, hostages, whatever you want to call it. We have a bit of calm in that particular part of the world, and it should be good news that after a very long time they're able to sit and agree, and we hope it will be a start to everlasting peace in that particular part of the country. We also know there are some conversations in Afghanistan. We've had prisoner exchanges between the United States government and the Taliban government, and we hope that is also a step into achieving long-term peace in that particular country, and many other major stories, including the banning and then the thought that we are going to, the thought by President Trump that this is not one of the major challenges of the country, and he says they are going to resume it as soon as possible. That is another story to look out for at the global stage, but also the continuing war in Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, and how the processes are trying to be shaped to see that particular war comes to an end. We keep looking at all these stories, and we anticipate to see that peace resumes in that country. And lastly, the war in Sudan. Here, we've also seen a lot of efforts, actually, where Uganda is very much involved to see that peace is restored in that particular country. So we hope it is also a success, and we see a ceasefire and conclusively resumption of peace and normalcy in that particular part of the country. Coming back home, the Electoral Commission of the Republic of Uganda on the 20th of this March launched the nationwide voter registration update exercise. And here to discuss for me that topic is a panel of distinguished citizens of this country, whom I will introduce, starting with from the Electoral Commission. I have Mr. Richard Nsuube. Mr. Richard, you're most welcome to the conversation. How are you?
I'm okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invite. I'm excited to be part of this great team to discuss issues that are electoral in nature, issues that really concern Ugandans and shape our nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Richard, and we're going to have to hear what you have to share with us, especially from where you sit at the Electoral Commission. I also have a youth leader, Gabriella Kabasindi. Gabriella, you are most welcome. Greetings.
Thank you so much. You're most welcome too.
Thank you, Gabriella. And I also have Melody Nakalanzi. Melody, greetings. You're most welcome to the conversation.
Thank you, Philip. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners. My name is Melody Nakalanzi. I am happy to be here and be part of this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Melody. We're happy to have you. And later in the show, we expect to be joined by Mr. Bwambale Richard. I think he's still having challenges with connections, but sooner than later, we shall have him and we pick what he has to say about this conversation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the voter registration exercise. I want to start with you, Mr. Nsuube Richard. You're from the Electoral Commission. We know that you have told us that we should go to our polling stations, first of all, to check the details of our details at that particular space. We make updates if need be. There are people who would want to change locations and so many other things. But at a broader level, what is the Electoral Commission doing, and indeed what do they intend to achieve in this exercise?
Thank you very much, Philip. Let me introduce myself. I'm Nsuube Richard from the Electoral Commission. I want to thank you for this meeting and to be part of this great conversation. The Electoral Commission was established by an act of Parliament, and Article 60 establishes the Electoral Commission. Article 61 states how the Electoral Commission will operationalize. And then Article 62 gives us the independence to work without any influence from any person or authority. The Electoral Commission commenced, we launched the roadmap, that's 2025-2026, that will lead us to the polling day of the different offices, elective offices, that's the president, members of parliament, and then the local governments. So on the 6th to the 16th of August last year, we started with 2 activities. I want to just briefly talk about them before we go into the general update. We did demarcate electoral areas across the country, and we also reorganized polling stations across the country. Polling stations, these are the places where people go and cast their votes for the people they are for the leaders that they want to lead them. So on the 20th, that was Monday of this month, January 2025, the Electoral Commission commenced the general update of the National Voters Register across the country for the would-be voters, those who are willing to participate in elections, to go and update their voting particulars. Maybe I want to go much into details, but the purpose for the update of the National Voters Register, we have basically 4. 1, we have those Ugandans who are 18 years and above, because I want to go slowly so that people can pick what we intend to achieve. Ugandan citizens, mark that word, citizens, who are 18 years and above. You can be 18, you can be 60, you can be 30, and you have never registered as a voter. This is the opportunity for you to go at the update centers and register as a voter. But remember, for you to be a voter, you have to first qualify to be a citizen. So you have to register as a citizen of Uganda, and then you qualify to vote. So the update exercise, I want to correct you, Philip, it's not at polling stations, it's at parishes and wards across the country. All parishes and wards, that's where the update centers are. Now, for those who wish to transfer their voting locations, for instance, Philip, if you vote in Kampala and you anticipate to be in Mbarara or Gulu or Bale around polling day, of what we call voting day, you have the right to transfer your voting particulars from Kampala, where they're existing now, to your preferred polling location. It can, like I said, it can either be Gulu, wherever you want to go. And it's very simple. For you to transfer from one voting location to another, you have to have a recommendation letter from the LC1 of that village, within that parish, where you want to vote, your new preferred polling location. For instance, if you want to go to Mbale, you go to that parish within Mbale where you want to transfer to, and then you go to the LC1 within that very parish, because the law is very clear. You vote from a parish where you either reside or originate. You either vote from a parish where you either reside or originate. So you go to that parish, then you identify that village where you come from, then you get a recommendation letter from the LC1 confirming that they know you. You either, maybe your parents, your great-great-grandparents were living there, and they say, no, this is the person we know him. He's a grandson to so-and-so, a granddaughter to so-and-so, or a daughter to so-and-so. So you'll get a confirmation letter. Then you go to any update center. Any update center, you don't have to come back to Kampala, and then present that letter. Then your voting particulars will be transferred to your preferred polling station. So we also have a category of learners. The NERA had a special arrangement where they went to schools and other tertiary institutions and registered learners. Mostly they were secondary and primary schools. Now, by that time, they could not qualify because they were not yet 18, so they were not allocated or assigned polling stations. Now, most of them have come of age, they're 18 plus. So now we are looking at that category, and you know, those young people are the majority. There are many. We have so many young people. So we are looking at that category where they will go with their particulars of registration, confirming that they have ever registered. They go to any update center, and then in the system is very clear. It has all the particulars across the country. So you just say, I want to be in Mpigi. They say, okay, Mpigi, then they click on Mpigi. Then you identify a sub-county within Mpigi. Then that sub-county also give you a drop-down of the parishes within that sub-county. And then now you identify that parish where you want to vote from. And then that parish has polling stations, because the law is very clear that for any parish that is established, it has to have at least one polling station. At least there can be even 20, depending on the population and the other factors. So you identify a polling station in case you're a learner and you were not assigned a polling station. And then the EC will assign you a polling station, and you'll know there and then that this is what I'm going to vote from. Then you also have those who have minor issues on their voting particulars, not the date of birth, but maybe if I'm Nsuube and maybe they wrote in Nsuube or Subi, anything like that, I can make such corrections on the voters register, minor corrections. So that's what we are looking at. And remember, Philip, a clean voters register is a cornerstone of a credible, inclusive, and peaceful election. Because without a register, the Electoral Commission cannot exist. Yes. So basically, those are the categories we're looking at. But I think my emphasis should be to the young people that this is the only exercise or activity that will qualify you to vote in case you have never registered as a voter. This is the only exercise that will qualify you to transfer to your preferred polling station in case you want to transfer from where your particulars are existing right now to your preferred voting location. Briefly, I think that's what I can say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Richard Nsuube from the Electoral Commission, and I think you give us a very, very solid background to what is happening and indeed what you intend to achieve as the Electoral Commission, but also what the Ugandans should look at for the future, and more specifically for the election that is coming come 2026. Gabriella, I want to come to you. You have heard what Mr. Nsuube has had to share with us, what the Electoral Commission is doing, what they intend to achieve, and how important it is for you, myself, and every Ugandan that intends to participate in the electoral process. Take me to your location. What is the situation like? Have you visited this center, and activities unfolding the way Mr. Richard has put them in your particular location?
Well, a very good morning once again. I want to thank Mr. Nsuube for the submission he has given us about the register, the voters register. Well, I want to clarify that I'm among those students, basically those people that were registered during that time, and actually have not yet gone for that update. But well, I was not very confident about the update, what I need to do in order to vote, because I just recently got my national ID. Yeah, but right now, I think I can really go and update. But the problem is, I think most youth are very, how do I say? They are so ignorant about this process. I don't know whether it has been, I don't know whether people have been sensitized about what to do. Those first-time voters, those learners, I think they're called learners. I don't know whether they're very confident about what to do. Where do I go? What do I need? But I think there is need to sensitize the youth about it, because I think most people that were registered by then, I remember the NERA process that was initiated by then in high schools, secondary schools, and those other whatevers, colleges. By now, those people that registered right now, I'm very sure most of them are 18 and above. That means they can vote. But I think the problem is most of them lost those. You talked about these. I don't know what they were called. Those forms that we used to fill in.
Application forms.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, for instance, I lost my application form because right now, me, I had mine by the time I.
Yes, Gabriella, you can hear me?
I think there's a network issue.
Yes, I think we shall be getting back to Gabriella as she. Gabriella, you can hear me?
Network.
I will be getting back to you, Gabriella, as network tries to get back to normal. But I think, Mr. Nsuube, you listen to that some of the challenges she says, she has not been aware, and she doesn't think most of her peers are aware of this particular process and what is supposed to be done in that particular regard. And when she comes back, I intend to ask her how best they can be assisted to get this information, because at least we have seen the Electoral Commission put out a couple of adverts on TV, on radio stations, flyers all over the internet, videos and everywhere. So we shall get to learn from her and indeed other panelists about how best they can get this information, but also be inspired to participate in the activity. Melody, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I hope you can hear me
Yes,
too.
Melody. From what you hear from Richard here, the intentions of the Electoral Commission, but also the significance of this particular exercise, is it motivation enough for any ordinary Ugandan, and more specifically the youth of this country, to go out and participate in this activity? And in any case, are you and your peers going out there to participate in this activity?
Okay, thank you very much, Philip. It is also my pleasure that we have someone from the Electoral Commission to actually be with us here as young people. Maybe he can help. Maybe he can help us answer some of these questions that we have been asking ourselves. Personally, I'll give you the challenge that I have myself right now. My biggest challenge is not about me going to update my details, but my biggest challenge right now is to say I should travel to Isinjiro district to get a recommendation letter to bring to Kampala to have my details updated. I think I did not really understand the relevance of that letter. Maybe Mr. Nsuube will help us understand more why that letter is really relevant. But I think it is one of the things that is going to limit this entire process of updating the system. Because notice you need about 100,000 to travel. And what that means is that even at a time when we thought we should engage in these elections, then there's also something like a system that we do not trust anymore, like an institution of Electoral Commission that we say that even when they put up things like this, maybe let it stay the way. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Maybe to just come in there a little quickly. Mr. Nsuube tells us that you do not go to your original voting station. You go to where you intend to vote from in the coming election. That's where you source the data and take it to the nearest update center for you to change your voting location. Maybe we start there.
Oh, thank you. I think I got it the wrong way. But well, so I apparently I had very many problems to bring. So that was my first problem, and I think it has been answered anyways. Thank you for the clarification. Now, number two, we're saying we are advocating for, importantly, the youth to be part of this kind of particular process. What happens then is that I am a student at the university, so I can access social media. I have some knowledge that in 2026 we are supposed to have elections. But what then happens to a certain youth in Karamoja, somewhere deep down in any other district that does not know what is actually happening? Have they been told that there is actually updating of the voters register? Most likely no. So are those people going to be part of the electoral process, or are they going to be left out? And then another thing, I think this topic is generally about how youth are actually ready for this entire process. The other biggest problem is what I was going to talk about earlier, about how there is a lot of distrust in the entire institution of the Electoral Commission. That even at a time when things to do with the Electoral Commission are put up, when we see a few people actually going to turn up to go and take part in this particular process, because they think what will most likely come out of the entire process, they do not trust it or they do not want it. So it becomes then hard that even when you tell them to go and update their details, they do not care, because they think what will most likely come out is not what is going to be satisfying to them. I think I will tell you more later. Maybe we can take that for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melody. And some of the concerns you raise, I know Richard here will make a few clarifications to make them so clear for you. But before I bring him in back, I want to welcome Joachim Bwambale. Joachim, you're most welcome. Greetings. Joachim, you can hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you very well. I can hear you very well. And thank you so much for welcoming me onto this session again. And I greet everyone here. Yeah,
thank you. And quickly, I want to pick your thoughts on the voter registration update exercise and how is it unfolding in Kasese, where you are?
Oh, Kasese, I will definitely say people are going to update, and they are very much eager to update. But just like my sister Melody just said it, people, especially the youth, nowadays they seem to be minding much about what will earn them bread on their tables. After all, even when they engage themselves into politics and other things, they have spotted some mistrust in the system, that even though they vote for their own person, and then the results will not be as they expected them. So it somehow demoralizes the youth, and the turn up becomes so low. So far, what I can tell you is most people who are updating the register and updating where they will be voting from, they are people 50 and above. But for the youth, they haven't bought the idea so much, because they are concentrating on what will earn them bread in the morning. Because after all, they have this mind of, after all, we vote for them and nothing changes, so why should I waste my time? I think the Electoral Commission and the government systems should work hard towards proving this, the youth very wrong, that their vote will count, and it will be valued, and they should expect a free and fair election, which though has failed to work So it will be too much convincing. It will need too much convincing, and so that for them to engage in updating the system, in updating their names, where they will be voting from. But what I can assure you, Mr. Phillip, is the turn-up is still very low. People are busy. The fact that we are even in January, where people have no money, they are struggling to get school fee for their children going to school. So the turn-up is still limited somehow.
Thank you, Joachim Bwambale, for that update, and hopefully we can see a change of that trend in that particular part of the country, and certainly the people get to realize the importance and significance of this particular activity, but also entirely the electoral process, because it contributes to that education they are thinking about, it contributes to that economics, the jobs they are talking about, and many other things. But let me bring in Richard here. I know you have a couple of things to react to or to respond to before I ask you a couple of other things about this. Yes, Richard. Please unmute. You are mute.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, I wanted to react to respond to some of the concerns, and they are valid concerns. As the Electoral Commission, we take them in good faith, because some of these concerns they are from across the country, and we make sure as Electoral Commission that we have solutions to some of these challenges. Now, the learners not accessing those that lost their IDs and they have lost their application forms, and they feel they want to go and access these update centers and get assigned polling stations. Yes, I know we have challenges. We keep losing items and so many things. But if you registered in a particular school, I'm sure you can have access. You can even make a call, because they have these records somewhere kept. So you can call that school where you enrolled from, and then they get you those details. Then you go to any update center and access. Then too, you can also access. You can visit because remember, we have NERA people. We are working with NERA, the update centers. We're not only Electoral Commission. Like I said, for you to qualify to be a voter, you have to be a citizen. So if you have never registered as a voter, you have to first register as a citizen. Then they also enroll you on the voters register. So my sister and other brothers and sisters of mine that lost their particulars when at the ones they were given at registration, they can also access the update center. And you can, if I'm Nsuube Richard, I tell them my name. I'm Nsuube Richard. Remember, these particulars, NERA has them. What is missing is only the polling station. I don't know that I'm very clear. So you say, I'm Nsuube Richard, I registered from Kamuli, I registered from Karamoja at this registration center. The machines, the technology that NERA has can be able to identify you. And then your particulars will pop up and they'll ask you, are you the one? Of course, they will see, because they're going to compare the picture in the system and you. So still they will assign you a polling station. So if you've lost your particulars, please make sure you go to the update center. They are going to locate your particulars in the system, and they are going to assign you a polling station. But if you can't still, you can get someone, a teacher or a head teacher where you registered from, and ask for those details, because they have those details in their records. So I think my sister, yes, it's true. It's a challenge, but yes, you can still go and to the update center, present yourself, give them your details. Verbally, they are going to press for those details, and then they are going to assign you a polling station. Then the challenge of traveling from one place to another, the far places. my particulars are in Kampala and I want to vote in Sinjiro. I think you clarified it and she got the answer. Please don't worry about that. But those are guidelines. What do we want to avoid? We want to avoid a mass movement of voters from one particular place to another without their knowledge. Because if I don't do it in person, if I didn't go to a registration center and presented myself, Philip, I'm not meaning you, but any Philip or any Richard, as a politician or someone who doesn't like me, can effect that transfer from where I am to another place for various reasons. You get it? So that's why we want to get that confirmation that you are the person who intends to transfer. And then you also got a recommendation letter from the parish within that village where you come from. Because like I said, the law is very clear. You either vote in a parish where you originate or reside. And then the youth participation, for instance, in Karamoja, someone raised it, one of my colleagues on, and says that they are not sure whether the people in Karamoja or some other far hard-to-reach areas have this information. The Electoral Commission was very, very specific. We've involved all else chairpersons because, like I told you, they have to recommend those who want to effect transfers. So the L1 chairpersons across the country.
I think Richard is having Richard. Yes, thank you. As we try to have that challenge sorted, I want to come back to you, Gabriella. So you did mention how you didn't have this information and many of your colleagues might not have this information. I want you to help me. If the Electoral Commission was to package information in any particular way, what means, what form of communication do you think the Electoral Commission should consider that should be able to reach you and many other people that are like you, students, former students that are in the villages there, that are at home and they seem not to be aware of this particular situation? How can the Electoral Commission reach out to you to give you this information? Yes, Gabriella.
Well, I think, thank you for this opportunity. I think Electoral Commission can reach out these people by sensitizing, because I don't think they are aware of this. Let me tell you, very many people are so ignorant about this, and I think they should do this maybe by sensitizing. They're also willing to participate in this. So, and I think they should also, this self-reporting exercise of updating ourselves as learners. I think it is quite hectic on the other side because, you know, when you go to the NIRA offices, you have to talk about yourself. Then they will tell you to come back another day. Then they will tell you to go to the DSO, you know? So how sure are we that the youth that are going to go there inquiring about this self-reporting updates for the learners are going to be worked on in time? Because probably, I believe, this voting exercise is going to take place on, if I'm not mistaken, it is the 20th Jan, that is 2020. Sorry.
Yeah, the update exercise is between 20th January and 10th of February.
Yeah. So will they really have worked on those people with those issues by then? Because they have that instance of telling you to come back another time, to go back and bring this, you know. It is quite hectic that people end up letting go without participating in the process of updating. Yeah. Then on the issue, I also wanted to address about this issue of The youth always lose hopes because they always expect this and then get this. But one thing I believe that is in elections, we believe that one has to lose and then the other one has to win. So it's a win and lose. So whatever comes, it is. So, yeah.
Thank you so
That's
much,
my view.
Gabriella, for
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you so much. I want to bring back Melody quickly. What is the position of the youth? And you know, the youth are very many in this country. When you look at data from Uganda Bureau of Statistics, they tell us people between 18 and 30 are about 28 to 30% of the population. What is their position in the electoral process? And certainly, how crucial is this process for them as youth, where you belong? How crucial is this process to you?
Well,
Melody, you can
thank
hear me?
you. Yeah. Well, thank you very much once again. Okay, so youth are people that work for things that most likely motivate them. Right now, Philip, if you have graduated from university, your biggest interest is that you need to get a job, right? You need to get money because maybe you're out of your parents' house. So for youth now to come up and participate in such things is when the system is actually okay for them. The system sort of favors them. Let me tell you, I wanted to actually answer a question Gabriella was asking. How best can we, like, just adding on what she said, how best can we make sure that youth are actually part of this and that they're actually okay, like being part of the process? One important thing should be, I don't know if Richard is hearing me, but one important thing should have been that actually the youth are part of the people that are actually maybe like deployed to help Electoral Commission do some of these things. Maybe we may not say they do not have the knowledge and skills that they need, but we saw some of the people that were actually doing the population census, most of them were young people. So for us to now then trust the system, for us to be able to disseminate more information, for us to have a bigger coverage of what we want, would have at least each parish bring out young people being part of this entire process. I know if I post on my status and say that we are updating from here or there, my contact list does not have very many old people. It has a very few of them, and many of them are young people that I go to school with, that I'm friends with somewhere, that I meet at a football pitch or something. So it means those people would actually get interest. How about 5 more people actually, and 5 people posted something like that? What happens when I post it on my ex? It means more people are actually getting the information because it's coming from me. So at a time when EC then does it alone, it makes it look like it only belongs to EC or it only belongs to government. It then means that we have like a limited scope of people actually understanding what then happens like on the entire national system. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Melody. And Joachim, look, you did mention that the people in Kasese, the turn-up is still very low. And I want to pick, what is the major cause of this low turnout? Is it the lack of information? Is it the thinking, or this, can I call it, the alleged thinking that politics does not contribute anything to them? What is the major cause of the low turnouts in the voter update process? Yes, Joachim.
Yeah, all I can say about this is I think one might be lack of information. They are not informed very well. Two, they see it as a normal thing for them. Whether it happens or it doesn't, it will change nothing. So they mind less. So I will kindly request my brother from the Electoral Commission, Nsuube Richard, to put in more efforts. It's not only Kasese, by the way. I'm speaking because I'm in Kasese, but it's not only Kasese. You will find in other areas it is the same issue. People no longer mind whatever comes up. Actually, people these days mind about having a national ID with them. Maybe I have a national ID, I can transfer wherever I want to go. But the rest of the things is none of their business. After all, they are not so beneficial to them. So Electoral Commission needs to work hard. Actually, Electoral.
Joachim, you can hear me? I seem to have lost Joachim, but he will join us as network normalizes and stabilizes in his location. I want to bring in Richard. Look, and I'm glad I still have you here. When you hear to some of the issues people are raising here, and if I can add a couple of others that I am receiving here, people are saying, to begin with, the Electoral Commission putting out 21 days for this very important and very wide activity is such very little time for it to be fulfilled. But also, especially the youth are saying, technology. How about there is an online platform portal where people can just log on and get to look at their details. If there is need to change something, they change it online from the comfort of their home, from the comfort of their office, and so on. Why is the Electoral Commission not considering having an online platform to have these things worked on in real time? Yes, Richard.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Philip. I was trying to get to, because it's a host of so many questions, but I need to make some clarification. Now, let me start with the 22 days. Actually, there are 22 days. Now, it's very, very, very disheartening somehow for someone on day one to start saying that the 22 days are very few. I don't know whether I'm making some sense, because on day one, you're saying this time frame is so little for us to, to participate in this exercise. I think let's try to always value time and know that within these 22 days, I can spare off some time and I go to the registration center and I either register as a new voter, I transfer my particulars, or I check in the register to see and find out if I'm really in the register. So, and then two, our kind of the roadmap is operated by timelines. We look at timelines. You understand? Because on the 12th of May, 2026, we should have a new president sworn in, a new government. And, so we cannot, some of these dates that we put or we identified in the roadmap are so crucial that in case you extended a week or two, then it's into another activity. That's also very crucial. So I think my appeal is very clear and very simple. Let's use this opportunity, the 22 days that that the Electoral Commission, put up for Ugandans to go and participate in the general update of the register. Because for instance, even if we extended an extra 1 week, still we shall have, our syndrome as Ugandans. I'm not saying it in bad faith, but we always want last minute things. And I'm very sure, Philip, towards the last two or 3 days of this activity, you're going to see very many people flocking update centers for, to do whatever they want, either to vote, to register, or to transfer. So I think my appeal is very simple. Let's use this window before the cutoff to make sure that you really are on the register. Because without being on the register, we cannot participate in elections. One, you cannot vote, you cannot be voted for, you cannot nominate or second a candidate. You can also not contest if you're not on the voters register. So I think this is a very crucial exercise. Then the issue of the online technology, EC has that. You just have to visit our website for those who can access the technology. Our website, you go to it's www.ec.or.ug, and then you'll see on the first page of you just see. Then you just fill in your NIN number or date of birth, and then you're going to have your polling particulars displayed. So we have that, and we also have a link that we've tried to, I think I'll share it with you, Philip, that we are trying to spread around to, to give to Ugandans so that they can easily access and see their polling location. So we, as EC, we are embracing technology. So I just encourage people, but I think for me and most of some other people, I think the problem we still have is the mindset. Ugandans think that right now the elections are 2026. Why should I participate in activity right now? Actually, even some when you ask a few people around, they say, "Nayo kulonda kugenda bila bidi bimukaga mutu agazachi." You understand? So
Sure.
my appeal is very clear to, especially because we are talking to the young people that are the majority in this country. This country belongs to you. This country belongs to us as the young people, because if we don't participate in decision-making processes, then other few people are going to keep on making decisions for us. The very few people that the ones that we think have now aged a bit, because now we should be the leaders from today, tomorrow. And for you to be a leader does not mean that you have to go and lead people, politically. In all your spaces, you have to make sure that you do participate in leadership, in decision making. If you don't, then you are leaving a group of few people, like one of my colleagues was saying, that most people at the update centers are people of 50 and above. You understand? Now, for us, the young people, we are looking at the exercise and saying, no, we cannot participate in this election or in this exercise because of, the trust issues. I've always told people, and this is the advice we've always been given, that even when you don't plan to buy a car soon, you should go to a driving school, learn, and get a driving permit, even when you don't even intend to buy a car in your lifetime. Because opportunities can strike at any time. But once they find you ready, then you can apply for a job, and what they need is a driving permit. You understand? And then for you didn't go for it because you thought you will never own a car. Even the same to the passports. I think we've been encouraged to go and acquire passports. Even when you don't, even when you don't think of moving out of this country anytime, flying out. So, for you, if you feel right now you've not been energized or mobilized or to participate in the voting process, it's better you go and update your voting particulars and have them in place, so that when time comes and you feel you can go and cast your vote, it's easy than for you to pick the interest when these processes have already gone. One of the reasons we have very few low turn up, or some few people turning up to polling on polling day is one, because most people do not transfer their voting particulars. And this is what we're trying to emphasize. Philip, you're in Kampala and your voting particulars are in Sinjiro or are in Karamoja. And you don't want to inject money, transport yourself to Karamoja, vote, and then come back. So I think that's then one of our colleagues was talking about people in Karamoja not being aware. This process is broad-based. Electoral Commission, all our activities are people-based. Stakeholder engagements are very, very crucial. For instance, this activity, I can break it down. All LC1 chairpersons across the country are aware of this exercise. All local leaders are aware of this exercise. All political parties, from the national level to the lowest, are aware of this exercise. The media is aware of this exercise. So we've tried to make sure that each and every aspect, each and every corner of Uganda, people are aware. The only problem I think that we still have is the mindset. People still think, one, there's time. Others think there's no time. So we just encourage Ugandans. My sister, I think, is Melody. Melody was saying that most of the people that have been deployed by Electoral Commission at the sub-county and parish levels, and then the update officers are all the people. I can assure her, am I still very clear?
Yes, you are.
I can assure my sister that out of 100, 90% of the people deployed by Electoral Commission are young people. 90% are young people. And these are the people we talk to, these are the people we interact with. So if each and everyone reaches the other and tells them about the importance of the national exercise of the general update of the National Voters Register, we are sure that each and every Ugandan will benefit. Now, we don't want people to have a mindset that whatever happens, there's no change, even when you go and cast our votes. I think democracy is very clear that the majority takes it all. And the Ugandan government and the laws are very clear. In case you feel you're not satisfied with the outcome of what the Electoral Commission has done and the processes, you run to the courts of law. Then they're going to interpret. But you see, we still have a mindset that even when I go to court, justice will not be served. Even when justice will be served, because you already have a mindset, because very many people have gone to court and they have won. And the by-elections have been conducted from parliamentary level to local government. So my appeal is very simple still. Because someone was saying, why do we have a lot to turn up? And I think I've tried to handle that. Very few people will turn up at the polling stations because there are negative voices that are discouraging them from accessing polling stations, from going to go and cast their votes. I've seen so many politicians who are participating in elections, influential people, talking ill about Electoral Commission and the processes. Yet these are the very people contesting and participating in the elections. Now, when things don't turn out well, when they lose, whatever does not turn out well, still they keep on blaming the Electoral Commission. So for us, because for us, our plan is very clear: stakeholder engagement. But if we have leaders at all levels from all different types of areas of this country, tell the people the importance of most of these electoral activities, we are sure the youth, the young people are going to come and participate, and I'm sure they're going to benefit. For instance, we have what we call the youth elections. They emanate, they start from the village. The youth elect their leaders, and that cascades upwards up to parliament. So the youth are involved in all our activities. I think the mindset issue and then the mobilization issue has to come from us. You tell your grandfather, your young sister, your young brother that you see you're 18 years and above, you've never registered as a Ugandan, please, let's go to the update center and register. My sister, your voting particulars are now in Kampala or in Mukono, and you want to go to Jinja, please, let's transfer your voting location to that preferred polling station so that it's easy for you to access a voting location and cast your vote.
Thank you so much, Richard, for that detailed advice, information, submission to this particular topic. Now, colleagues, time is very much fast spent, and we shall really have to get out of here in the next very few minutes. But I want to hear from you lastly, and I'll start with you, Joachim. One.
My microphone. Okay. Me, all I can say, and all I ask of from my brother, Electoral Commission. One, there is one who asked. This exercise is taking place from I think it started on 20th up to 10th February. And
what kind of election do you want to see in 2026? And two, what are going to be the major making sure we have it?
No. The kind of election I would love, I would not love to see a bleeding country. I would love to see a free and fair election. I would not love to see internet shut down at the end of the day because maybe they are voting and then we'll be in darkness. Then from there, then elections are announced when we have been in darkness, things of that kind. Let's trust the process. Let's accept we are dealing with mature people, and let's handle things in a professional manner. Let's copy other countries, how they do things, not because we are going into election and then internet is shut down, we cannot access anything, and we are just in darkness. Whatever will come up is up to them to decide. So a lot of things. So me, I was kind of requesting my brother from Electoral Commission. We are so happy you were part of this today. Please convey our issues to them. We need to have a free and fair election, whether it favors who or who, but for as long as it is free and fair, and we are in a peaceful country without bleeding. That is all I can say. Meanwhile, you need to streamline your systems, because you're telling us exercise is ending on 10th February, but to your surprise, you'll hear of an extension. Either people have not registered fully and things like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joachim. Gabriella, quickly, what do you want to see change and what kind of election do you expect to have? Gabriella, you can hear me?
Philip, can I make my submissions?
I would love to see a very fair election, a peaceful one as it has always been. And then maybe secondly, just like Mr. Richard said, that it is always fair, because if at all you're not satisfied with the results, you have the right to bring a suit against the people responsible. So if at all you feel like you're not satisfied with the results, you can still go and appeal. The same way, I also believe that it is always fair and partial, that I believe they always do what is necessary, because this government is for the people and it is held by the people for the people. So whatever comes out is the best for us. So
thank you so much, Gabriella. Thank you so much. And I will now invite you, Mr. Nsuube, to give your final remarks about the topic and what really should go out there for the public. Yes, Richard. Please unmute.
Hello.
Yes,
thank you so much. But my battery is low. Actually, I was getting worried because it's on 2%. Now, my appeal is very clear. The exercise commenced on the 20th and it's ending on the 10th of February. I'm encouraging all stakeholders, because Electoral Commission, we do not work in isolation. We don't work alone. We are not in a vacuum. We work with the stakeholders. Let each and every stakeholder in their own capacity mobilize and rally people to come and participate in this election. Because as Electoral Commission, we don't want people to miss out on these opportunities that are free of charge. And if you are on the voters register, it's easy for you to go and make a decision, to contest, to nominate, to second, whatever you want to do to participate in elections, you have to appear on the National Voters Register. So the issue of mistrust, like I said, wherever you see a competition, be it football. Philip, I think we are 5 on this having this conversation. But in case we had an election between me and you to choose who becomes the chairperson, I think one who loses will also have an issue of why they lost. So whenever we have a competition somewhere, of course we have dissenting views, but like we said, in case you're not satisfied, there are avenues you can take to seek redress. We are looking at basically those who have not registered and they wish to register. please go and visit your update centers at any nearest parish. If you want to transfer, please, fellow youth, go and make sure. Now, for transfers, is for those who are already on the register, but they want to change voting location. Please go and do that. For those who want to, for the learners, like our dad alluded to, make sure that you have your particulars. You visit an update center. You give them, you provide your particulars. They are going to look into the system and they are going to assign you a polling station. Let's not say that the 22 days are so little or so few for us to participate in this exercise. We have all machines in all the parishes across the country. We have the personnel, both EC and NIRA, to attend to you. In case you have not, in case you go to any parish and you don't find them, please seek information from the LC1 chairpersons, because they know. Some of them are stationed in one place, some of them are rotating, looking for people, but still within the parish. As young people, my appeal is very simple. Let's love this country. Uganda is going to be here forever. We shall also grow old. Let's give space and let's create an environment where even our children and our children's children will come and enjoy this country. Where you see that the Electoral Commission has not done something that you feel like maybe they have gone wrong, they have not done something that you feel is right, please get to us. We have structures everywhere at parish level, at sub-county level, at district level, at regional level, and at national level. Please seek advice, seek guidance. One of the reasons we have violence is because people are not informed. So we have tried our best to inform the people, and we are now looking at the stakeholders to also make sure that this information trickles down to the last person across this country. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you very much for my other panelists. Philip, I think this should be the beginning of, opening up such spaces, because the young people need this information. I bring you greetings from the Electoral Commission and for God and my country.
Thank you so much, Mr. Richard Nsuube, for that guidance, information, and for making time to join us. Quickly, Melody, can I have your final remarks on this conversation?
Okay, thank you very much again, Philip. My prayer for the election is that we have an election where everyone can fully exercise their right to democracy, people can fully participate in the process, people can trust the process, and people can actually access everything that calls for as everything that they need as they access the Electoral Commission. And we have a fair and free election that will give us leaders that we actually want. And lastly, like Richard said, we pray that youth actually engage more in this, because most of these decisions that are made are decisions that importantly affect them, not the people that are 70, not the people that are 80, but rather basically us that are 18 and 30. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Melody, and certainly you should keep from to say that the people around you are making time for the conversation, Gabriella conversation, and we continue to encourage you, very well captured in the National Voters Register. And to you, Mr. Nsuube Richard, thank you so much for making time for the conversation, and thank you so much for the information you carry for us from the National Electoral Commission. And we hope the information you shared here should be able to influence and inspire many other players out there to come out and participate in the activities, so that at the end, we have what everyone is looking for, a free, fair, credible election that should deliver progress to this country. Special thanks to our viewers on Civic Space TV, and special thanks to the technical team that keeps making sure we have good work put out there, but also special thanks to the Center for Constitutional Governance and all our partners for making sure we keep having all these conversations in contribution to the progress of our country. From us, we say good evening, and may you have freedom always.